Hello, everyone. I almost forgot to start. I was telling stories and I forgot to start recording, so I'm recording now. Welcome to the November midweek meetup. I have just been talking about my trip to Iceland for my birthday, and um, I won't make everybody hear it again, but basically just how integral the needle arts are to the culture. And so you see yarn, not a variety the way that we do, and I didn't see any hand dyed. Like it was very, very specialized, a lot of lopi, but also they had a few, like they had some really beautiful saturated mohairs. um and they have they have some cottons and that kind of thing, but very like traditional yarn. And then they have I met with a friend there named Raga, who has done a lot of I don't know, a lot has done at least a few of the knitting tours through Iceland. And in fact, Claudia, who's here, has been on one with her.
Mhm.
And so she and I went to we were actually, our apartment was just, like a half a block away. Um, what now? I can't remember what it's called. Claudia, is it the Knitting Guild of Iceland? Knitting.
Something like that. I can't recall the name off the top of my head.
So it's just, but it's amidst all the other super touristy shops on this main street downtown. But when you say downtown, it's not like New York downtown or even Austin downtown. It's like a quaint little Nordic city. And they did have, they had a small yarn section, but um what their major item was oh, here, I have it right here. Knitting Association of Iceland. Close enough. Um, they had so many hand knit sweaters and hats and all of the traditional sweaters and stuff and they're beautiful, stacks and stacks and stacks. And it was interesting because they're all between like 350 and like maybe $500. Um, which for me, I was like, well, that's good that they're valuing those stitchers. And then I was with an Icelandic woman, I was with Rega, and she was like, it's sad that those are so inexpensive for how many hours those take. And sadly, we're both right. You know, we're in a country that does not value handiwork still to this day. And they're in a country that relies on it heavily. So I just thought that was really interesting. But um, the other place that I was surprised, and I also posted a thing about this, we were in a very rural area. I can't remember, it was right out of Reykjavik when we were on our way to see the geysers, and we stopped at, just a gas station. And inside it wasn't a particularly nice gas station. It wasn't very big. There were like all these thrifted stuff. I guess gas stations, they're sort of community hubs. So they have like the usual, like, here you can grab some milk and some nuts and whatever. And then a lot of like automotive stuff. And then some like thrift store kind of things. And then some handmade things. And then a whole rack of these handmade sweaters, like just by local people. And they were still like a few $100s at least, like in a gas station. So I thought that was really cool. It was just sort of spoke to, again, the value, but also the necessity. So that was really neat. So that's just sort of a microcosm. It was very, it really did feel like an adventure. It's so different. Everything about the culture, not everything, but their culture is very different. From ours, and the pace is slower, and it's safer there. It's a smaller, they only have less than 400,000 people in the entire country. So but they get 3 million tourists a year, so it's a really interesting dichotomy. But I had a great time. It was really good to spend the time with the family. We don't get all of us together very often, the 3 kids and my husband and I, so it was really great. Okay, so let's talk knitting or crochet. you pick. I would love to show you what I just finished today, but I cannot. I finished a sweater today, I'll tell you that much. And it was not my own design. It was I wanted just a really basic pullover that I ended up making cropped because it showcases our December yarn beautifully, which needed something that was simple. And because of what yarn it is and the partnership and what it signifies, I wanted a sweater out of it. So I just finished it today. I wanted to be able to wear it in the unboxings and maybe at the coffee talk. So that is done. I guess I could at least tell you what the pattern is if I can remember it. Just while I'm thinking about it, and we will send out an email about this, I cannot do coffee talk on the 2nd as I normally do because I am getting on a plane on the 1st to go to Nashville to see Dolly Parton's costume exhibit before it closes.
Oh,
And
cool.
so, and so I need to do it on the 1st in the morning instead of the 2nd because I get on a plane on the 1st. So, and I'm planning on pre-shooting the longer unboxing for those that aren't insiders, but worst comes to worst, I have to pack it in my suitcase and do it from the Dolly themed hotel I'll be at. So one way or the other, you'll get it. So other than that, and I am looking for that pattern, I'm working on samples for the holiday retreat. Please make sure that for those of you that are attending that you do look at the info guide through that Google slide that I've sent out, because that is the information that keeps getting updated is there. You're just gonna have to trust me on that because I don't even know where that pattern is. And then lastly, it is finally cold enough that I can wear knitwear. So I'm wearing the poncho from Knit Collage. It's their design. I can't remember what it's called either. I want to say it's like flower child, hippie child, something, something. Chris, type in something, something Knit Collage and you'll get it. It'll be obvious.
Your groove thing.
I think I made this last year, but it's just never, it just has not been cold enough yet. So cozying up in that. So that's exciting. It's exciting for me. And it was also really cool literally cool, but it was really nice to have an occasion to wear knitwear in Iceland. I brought the Advent cowl, which people haven't seen yet. I brought the Mad for Plaid cowl from the fall box, and I loved that one. And then I brought the hashtag cowl from Montoya Merino. I guess I can post all of those too with me, and I wore them all. It was great. I also brought the hat from the November box, the barge beanie, the one that I designed, and I brought just another beanie that I knit from Pearl Soho. They have this stripy beanie that I really like. So that was exciting for me because, it's so hot here all the time. So hot. All right. So I'm just working on as I said, on the stuff for the retreat. I don't think I have anything else. We are really close to launching the December box and our next block for Block Builder. I think we're on 4.
Yes.
4. Okay. We're on 4. And then the winter box is going to go on pre-sale next month. So that's coming up. So that's kind of what's going on here for now. So Chris, you brought your vest. Is that what you wanted to show by itself, or are you also making something? The vest is enough. It's plenty. It's gorgeous.
It needs buttons, but this is going to be like a safari, as it always is, to find perfect buttons for the vest. So you get the preview of me wearing it.
Why don't you go to Mood?
I think I will. There used to be a shop in LA with a clever name like Buttons or the Button Shop.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're still open or if they switched to online, but it's a good problem to have, right? Finding the perfect buttons. So meanwhile, I am working on, because you can't have too many shawls. And Vicki knows how I have an affection for shadow knitting.
You love the shadow knitting.
Oh, pretty.
That's gorgeous.
That's cool though. Is it in black and white, or am I just
It's actually called ballpoint and pine straw. So it's navy blue and tan.
That's great.
That's really cool.
I'll post both of those in the chat.
Is it all brioche?
No, it's shadow knitting, so it's just knit and pearls. This one has a slip
you just
stitch
said
in it that does the outline of the.
Doesn't it look, it looks brioche though.
It does.
It does.
Mhm.
It's clever. It's clever.
Remind me, I literally have not done shadow knitting since a guest introduced it to me on the knit, on which one? On Nitty Gritty. And it wasn't Vivian Huxborough. I can't remember who it was. I can see her. It was a brunette and she left like that wasn't her profession, but I can't remember. But I don't remember how to do it.
It's just 2 rows of each color with pretty good contrast. You knit on the right side, and on the wrong side, you knit to push a purl bump forward with that color. So when you see
Oh, yeah.
areas that look like they go dark, it's because the navy blue has purl bumps that are on the front side, and the tan color has purl bumps.
That's really pretty.
It's
I love
fun.
that.
It's fun. Lots of good repetitive numbers. You can watch TV and just go 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4.
Mm.
I think now I'm second guessing myself. Like there might be one in my first book. Anyways, carry on. So that's really cool. So you put the.
I did.
Oh, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna share. Let me see. I'm gonna share the screen so that folks can see what it looks like finished, because it is pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
beautiful.
that's cool.
A lot of those are done with a solid and a gradient. I just have 2 solids to make it be a little more conservative, but yeah, you can see the purl bumps there. The light
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Once you get that idea, it's pretty simple. This one's a little unique just because it has the slip stitch that sort of defines the 2 areas, makes it a little crisper.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's really neat. Very cool. Very cool. All
All
right.
done.
Hey, Mona, what are you working on?
I have been doing Christmas gifts. I mentioned it the last meetup, but I was going to make your headband from.
Oh, cute. It looks
So
so
I
good.
did a set, right? I did a set with 2 different colors, and I did wrist warmers to go with each thing, right? A set of wrist
Oh, I
warmers.
love it. That's so
Oh,
great.
This is actually the pattern from the Halloween retreat. The
Oh, just the plain, just the simple.
yeah, just the plain, and it goes well with this. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it
matches
does.
nicely.
No,
Yeah.
it looks great.
Yeah, so those are for my daughter-in-laws.
How many daughter-in-laws do you have?
Well, I have 2. I have
2?
1 daughter-in-law to be, but
Okay.
yeah, I have 2. So I try. I tend to give them the same things. It's funny. It's like they're twins, you know.
It's easy. Yeah, it's easier that way.
Yeah, and then I saw this, and I don't have the information, but they're towel holders,
That's great.
and this is lemon peel stitch,
Hmm.
and I did it in I don't have the handles on it, but it was a herringbone
Yeah.
option too. So I'm making these as gifts as well. Just little gifts for people.
That's really great. I feel like, Chris, did Becky post that pattern in our like design Instagram? Like that looks familiar. Like,
I saw this on Facebook, but
Something with a lemon peel stitch, but I don't remember that project.
no, she might have just texted
no.
me, but that's a great gift. Like, especially if you're going to somebody's home for a party or whatever. You can even add a cute tea towel or.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm gonna do. I bought some towels Christmas themed towels, and I'm just gonna, and I match the color, you know, something that complements, so. People will be getting those as an extra
Love
gift.
that. I love that.
Yeah, and they're fun, they're easy.
Do you have a lot of people that you make gifts for?
I do. My extended family is my current husband's ex's family, believe it or not. And I tend to make the women a gift, in the family. Like these towel holders.
That's so
You know,
cute.
I've made that necklace, the macrame one, remember with the beads, I've made those for people, and
That's neat. I love
yeah.
that.
And
I
they
love
love
that.
it. And the one person that wears them all the time is the grandmother. So every time I see her, she'll have something that I made of yours, like the macrame necklace or the rope necklace, or
Oh, that makes me so happy.
you're wearing my necklace. She goes, well, of course. And she's a quilter, so she appreciates handmade
She
things.
knows. Yeah. She knows the
So
value.
she always wears things when she knows she's going to see me. I think it's sweet.
That is adorable. That's
Yeah.
adorable.
And I'm working also on the Christmas, for the Christmas retreat, doing the skirt. Christmas
We're in the
skirt.
same place.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. So
Well,
that's
amazing.
it. Yeah.
So I looked. So Chris,
Yeah.
I found it in the first book, Chris and everybody, but I thought this. Okay, so once upon a time, it must have been about 2005. I had a guest on Nitty Gritty. I think her name is pronounced Sheetha Nolk. And then I got my first book deal, and I asked her to do something that was shadow knitting, which is what she taught. And it was a kid's book. So I don't know if you can see, photography was not as great then.
Oh, cute.
It's shadow, but they're a little
Oh,
piggy
yeah.
frog, their backpacks.
Cute.
Cute.
Very
Very
cute.
cute.
Love that.
I mean, this has been a minute. So, yeah, so that's funny. I haven't thought about that in years. Yeah, just to give you an idea, these two little rugrats are about to be 22 and 24. Oh, wow.
Gosh,
So,
Wow.
time
There
flies.
you go.
Hey, Ravelry has a Knit Stir Illusion scarf by Vicky Howell
it does. That sounds about right.
from back in the Nitty Gritty days.
Very possible.
Cute.
You're telling me this? No recollection.
Long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to feel old, about this time, exactly 20 years ago is when I auditioned for Nitty Gritty.
Wow.
Oh,
Because it started airing in 2004, and it was at the very end of 2003, because you guys may have heard this story already, but I got this random email, dear sir or madam, this is a long time ago. Do you happen to know anybody who would be interested in hosting a knitting show? And there's a whole story behind it that I won't bore you with, but one of the things was, when I pitched myself, I was like, yes, me, all the things, was that they said, well, would you be willing to fly yourself out to LA? Which is still to this day emblematic of the value of handcrafting even in TV. And I already had a trip planned for within a week of then, to go to LA to meet with my best friend, to fly to New York together for my 30th birthday. So yeah, so it's been a minute, but yeah, I have no recollection of designing. I have some muscle memory of maybe designing one, but I could not tell you what was on it, what it's shadowing. I'm gonna guess a skull because that sounds like what I would do, but
No, it's
Or-
not. I mean,
it's not?
I put the link in the chat, so
Actually maybe Sheda for the Stitch and Bitch book did a. That is not mine.
it's not?
No. Because I don't know what that means. So that's just a producer adding that. I don't even know what that means. It's Y equals S times C.
There's another one that says Knitster.
Oh, maybe I did the Knitster one.
Doesn't have your name on the project.
Yeah, well,
Clearly you taught people to do it though.
all right. All right. Sounds about right. All righty, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, Elizabeth, what city? I was thinking of you this morning, so I had a
Oh.
Trevor project shift early this morning. And without getting into it, there was discussion of what city do you work in? Is the school that you,
It's in the city of Boston.
okay, it is in Boston. Okay, not Worcester. Okay.
No, not Worcester. Not
Okay.
Worcester. Worcester.
Worcester?
Worcester.
Worcester.
One of my
Not Worcester, but Worcester.
Worcester. Okay. Okay. Because there was a situation that I was talking through, and they were talking about like the staff members that sit outside the bathrooms, and it was like Massachusetts, and I was like, that's got to be the school. They don't have these at every place, right? But I guess they do. I guess they
Yeah.
do now.
A lot of schools have bathroom duty, and you just sit there and
Yeah, I had not. I hadn't heard that until you started doing that. So I was like, when this kid was talking to me about it, I was like, oh my gosh, is this like this? That would be
when
a
I
trip.
taught middle school, that was my administrative duty.
Really?
Yeah, like you have to do like this kind of, whatever. You have a duty that's administrative directed, and
Yeah,
sometimes
like you
assign
sign up
kids to-
for like football game duty or
yeah,
right?
something like
Yeah.
yep. But
Yeah.
so anyway, so I picked up the Stephen West shawl. So I'm still on clue 2.
Is this
This
the
is from last year.
okay?
is the-
I was like,
this
that
is-
doesn't look like the controversial one.
I don't know if it's controversial. This was the one from last year. I know Jen Barron put it down, like, or
Oh.
I think she said
I
she.
gave up. I'm so proud of you. Good for you.
So I could be doing it like a year from now. I could be saying, and now I'm on clue 4. Right.
You know what? You can take all the time in the world.
Well, that's what I figured. So I picked up this. I know there's a couple of I ordered a couple of those wobbles during Black Friday sales to just crochet up a little Santa Claus and a little Snoopy Claus, and so, and I finished the I think it was the March box this year, Vicky. It's this shawl.
Yes. Well
know.
done.
So, and I did double size, and
Pretty.
so just thank you. So just multitasking, and I'm gonna try to get a chunk of work done on this shawl, but it's a lot of work. It's frustrating, and
Is
when
it
you get a row
is it
done in a night,
worth
you're
it?
like, oh
is it worth it?
yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
I mean, I invested enough money in the yarn to be like it's worth. But I do want to like I'll do some things where I'll knock off a couple of projects in a weekend, and it will be worth it when it's done. It's just, we'll see how we go. Maybe I won't finish it. Maybe I'll just get to a point where I'll say, okay, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so that's what I'm doing.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Do you have any fancy retreats coming up?
I'm going to Spain at the end of April, beginning of May, Costa Brava, and we're going to fly into Barcelona, head north, and then the retreat's a 5-day, and then when we come back, we're going to spend a couple of days in Barcelona.
Love it.
which will be great. Because the last time I was in Barcelona, or the only time I was in Barcelona, it was Holy Week.
Mm.
And one of our days was lost because everything was closed on Good Friday.
Yeah.
So being a nice religious city.
Well, if you go in April, you risk that again, right?
No, we'll be there in May,
Oh, in May.
but in Easter's like in March.
Is it
this
in
year.
March this year? I was Catholic for the first part of my life. I still don't understand why Easter is different every year.
Because it's dictated by the
Because-
moon.
Yeah.
So it's the first Sunday after the first full moon of spring.
Because
March
it's
20th.
based on Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's whenever the first full moon is in March, after March 21st.
I
So
have no
think of
idea.
spring, okay? Spring
Yeah, no, I
comes-
get it. I just have
Yeah.
no idea why nobody ever told me that.
Oh, I don't know. That's
Hmm.
all we know.
I
The
didn't know it
nuns
either.
never breathed a word.
Me
Yeah.
I didn't know it either. No.
Nope, that's what I was told. I think I don't even know if the nuns told me that, but my father did, and he's like,
Okay,
"That's
so
like
the first Sunday after the first spring new moon or
full
full
moon."
Full moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say March 21st, but spring seems. I think it's easier to remember saying spring.
yeah.
So if the full moon happens to be that Saturday, then the next day would be
Easter.
Easter. But if the full moon is, say, March 19th, you got to wait a month
You have to wait a month.
till April. Yeah.
But it's the first Sunday after
After the first full moon.
it has to be after the 21st. Okay. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
For the spring equinox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spring equinox, if it's the 20th, but.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Meanwhile, I can't find that Stephen West pattern because I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, this one is twists and turns. I'm sorry.
I thought I would just like, pull it up. Well,
No, it was last year's, it was 2021's knit along.
That's not last year.
Wait a minute. Duh, 2022, I'm sorry.
So there's got to be a
That's what
full
happens when
moon,
you
a
retire.
full
you don't-
moon, and then a
Oh, no,
year,
no,
and then
yeah.
another year, and
Yeah.
that's when you're working on it.
You'll like Clue 3. Clue 3 is fun. It's goofy, but Clue 3 was the most fun.
And you didn't finish it after Clue 3?
I hated my colors. I did not like the way it looked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you got through Clue 3.
I
huh?
got through most of Clue 3 and then I didn't like the way it looked, but Clue 3 was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're not in Clue 3 yet with that much knit?
Right?
It's huge. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
here we go. I'm gonna try to.
it's a blanket.
Good on ya, Ellen. Good on ya.
So, so just take, yeah, it is. It's gonna be like a blanket. I'll be
The schlanket.
a blanket. I like that.
It just rolls up the tongue.
A shawl blanket, a schlanket.
Yeah,
Blanket.
it's gonna be huge.
Love it. Kristen, since you're schlanketing, what are you working on?
Okay, I've got two things going right now. Hold on, let me just do this. Make one laugh.
Other than the Lux chair set up right now?
Well, okay. I had to have surgery.
You did?
I did. November 13th. Very, very bad hemorrhoidectomy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I'm still recovering and it's still only half of what needs to be done. So I'll have to wait a year and then get the other half done.
You have to wait a year?
Yeah.
Oh my
But you
goodness.
have to wait until all of the scar tissue softens back up again.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so it's been tons of fun. And the only thing that's been able to distract me from the pain has been like knitting. So I've been working pretty consistently on, and this will be actually there we go. My third version of the same sweater because I love it so much. This is Julie's sweater by Kristen Tendyke. She did it as a Knit Picks,
Oh,
one
that's
of
pretty.
her cable collections. And so it's got this, I'm trying to get it under the light.
No, we can see it. It looks
There
good.
we go. Okay, so we have the, lovely cable panel up the front. I did double the rib on the bottom because I want this one to be really long because none of my other ones are really long yet. But this cable panel up the front is just really fun. It's all moss stitch, so it's the 2x2 and then
Mhm.
every other row. So it's really potato chip knitting. I mean, even the center panel, it's only a 16 row repeat. So
That
you
is
get,
the second time I've heard that phrase today, and I have not heard it before today.
what's that?
Potato chip knitting.
Really? Yeah.
Somebody said that to me on Instagram about, I don't know, one of my projects. And I was
Mhm.
like, I've never heard that before, but I get it. So that's
Yep.
funny. Like
Potato
today,
chip knitting. You just keep, you can't
yeah, you
stop.
can't just have
you know?
one. Yeah.
Just
And it's
one more,
easy.
just one
Yeah.
more.
Yep. So that is what this is. And then my friend Lisa, who owns Fiber Nymph Dye Works, she's indie dyer in Pittsburgh, and she is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Books. I mean, she's been reading the books since she was a kid. So this year for her holiday countdown set, it is a Middle Earth winter. So I decided to get into it a little bit earlier because I needed to pick me up.
Yeah.
And it arrived on the day of my surgery. So I have opened the first few days worth already because the pattern I decided to make this year, make them over here, when I got the Delicue Makers Collection, I got
Those are
the
nice.
backpack.
Yeah, those
I
are nice.
love it. I also got the cute little teal train case. So this one is that I decided on is Lily's Scrap Blanket. And it's a free pattern on Rab. And she
Cute.
has you do the Russian join to join your
Mhm.
straps or whatever, which I'd never done before. But after because I did the 20-gram minis that I got this year, so I did 5 of them to make 100-gram, fingering weight ball.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to like the third, set of Russian joins, I got it down. I'm like, oh, this is why didn't I know about this before? And why didn't I ever do this before? So, and I love this blanket because it reminds me of those 1970s
Yeah.
crochet blankets.
Yeah. I mean, I had
Days.
one as my bedspread as a child.
Exactly. And I'm just having a blast with it because it's knitted. And so it just it's garter stitch. So there's one rust row, there's an I-cord. The trickiest part of the whole thing, and also because I decided to make it wider than the projected 3 feet, I wanted to go 4 feet wide, is the I-cord cast on that she uses. Basically what she has you do is do an I-cord that is however many rows long plus 4 stitches. And then you go back, you leave the 3 on the needle, and then you go back and you pick up and knit all along the I-cord. Well, in my infinite wisdom, I decided to use a black tonal yarn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was fun, but I did it. It took a whole lot of really bright lights, but I did it. And I also did it mainly during the day when natural light was coming in. But so far, and I'm unfortunately not at the end of a row, but I just started on the day 2. Let me get this back over here. The day 2 yarn.
I love it.
And I'm just, it's so much fun. It's so easy. It's so relaxing. So, and I'm loving the collection set because she tells a story and takes you down a journey each day, kind of following the path of the Fellowship of the Rings trilogy through Middle Earth, and then tells a little mini story, you know, just a few lines, and then that day's colors.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying how she did it this year.
We have a whole, within the neighborhood that I live in, there's a pocket of streets that are all Tolkien named.
Ah,
Oh, fun.
Oh. That's neat.
Fun.
So if anybody happened to have my last book, The Knit Vibe, and as intro, you could also just Google it.
Yes.
Like, there's Russian Join. I did a tutorial on it.
Oh,
And I don't
cool.
know. I don't know why I never used that technique either. I love it.
It's so easy.
It's like I'm gonna have to read this book to remember how to do it, but yeah, it's really handy. So that's neat.
Oh,
Excellent. Claudia, what are you working on? Are you working on your cardigan
I am
or
done,
pullover or
I am done the knitting on the cardigan, with the knitting on the cardigan. I found buttons that are absolutely perfect for it, so I'm very excited about that.
are they silver?
But what?
Are they silver?
No, they're bronze.
Bronze. Okay.
Yeah, it looks really great. It's
That's
very
gonna look great with
Celtic,
that green.
very
that's good.
Celtic,
Yeah.
theme. And but I just haven't, because I was working on a knit along, mystery knit along, which I never do, but this one was super fun. I put it aside until I wanted to, I'm such a slow knitter normally. I don't do knit alongs because I can never keep up. But this one sounded really manageable, and I did manage to do it and hit all the points of, next clue. I was done and ready for it. So I'm really happy. But it's kind of crazy cowl from Laura Nelkin. And the way it goes is you knit a pair of squares and hexagons with a slightly different pattern and theme. And you do that 3 times, and then you attach them all together. So it comes out. Oh, I'll probably have to turn off my background. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Give me a sec. So it comes out with, like, here's a pair, there's a square, and there's the hexagon. And the squares are knit from the inside out, and the hexagons are knit from the outside in, and they all get a border color. And each pair has a slightly different stitch theme that's owl related. It's not knitting an owl, but like I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but there's this, I can never line it up in mirror image. It has these like feathery looking stitches.
Mm-hmm.
Just individual feathers, not.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And those are on both the square and hexagon. And then you have a gradient of 5 colors, which is the grays in my project. And so when you run out of the first mini skein of gradient, you just add in the second skein. Doesn't matter where it is. You can do it however you want, but I kind of followed the rules. The second set of square and hexagon had a puff stitch, or a tuft stitch, like what you see around owls' ears.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very hard to see on these colors. But that that was a kind of funny one, because if you look at it from the right direction, it kind of looks like an owl all of a sudden. And it's not intended to, it's just the way it came out. But it's just
Oh, yeah.
like puffs of color or puffs of stitch. And then the third one is what you call the talon stitch, which is just a crisscross stitch.
Mhm.
Like there. So they all have a little bit of an owly theme and different color changes. And it was a super fun project. I learned great new techniques. I learned about using surgical cord for like holding stitches, and how you can you take this little surgical tubing stuff, it's silicone, and you stick it on the end of your needle, and you can just slide the stitches right off the needle onto the surgical tubing. Super simple, super fast. Tie a knot or secure it somehow, and then leave it for later. And there was a lot of, there's like 12 of those things going on at different stages of this. So it was really helpful. I learned the 3 new stitches that I talked about. I learned a different kind of grafting, which is super, super simple. I wouldn't probably do it on a very fancy sweater, but connecting squares on a cowl, you betcha I'm going to use it. It's really easy, and it involves stitches left on the I-cord, and then just sort of you run a thread through and pull it, and it's done. It's not like I'm pathetic at Kitchener stitch.
Yeah.
And so this is a super simple way to do it. My other new favorite grafting technique, though, is something called Russian grafting. So
I feel like I have that too.
oh my God, that is amazing. And I didn't realize it, but the very first lace shawl I ever did used Russian grafting. And it's decorative, but kind of neutrally so. So you don't
Is
have
it with the, yeah. Oh, I do have it. Look at that. So
Yeah,
it's,
on
you use a
YouTube as well.
crochet hook.
yeah, there's ways to do it with a knitting needle too.
Oh, probably. Yeah. So I used it's like you hold 2 knit. Hi, did you need something? Did you need something? You're just having musical town downstairs? Okay. So you hold two needles parallel like you would for a 3 needle bind off, but then you take a crochet, well, I did it with a crochet hook, I don't know how she did it, and you pull one loop through the other, and it creates this sort of like almost braided look, kind of like wheat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
I used it on the edging of that purple shawl I finished recently.
Yeah.
Which is super fancy, and I knew I would never be able to match the pattern if I tried to Kitchener it. And this just blended right in. You don't even notice it. I mean, it helps that there's mohair to blend it in, but it was really a great technique. And it's easy to take out and redo if you screw it up. That's
Yeah, that's true.
another big thing.
Oh, I did a whole, I thought so. I did a whole Ask Me Monday on Russian grafting. I'm gonna post.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's one of my favorite techniques. So yeah, I was really happy with the project. I wear it doubled, and it's super warm and cozy. And it was a lot of fun to do. And then I am working, I just posted the project I'm currently working on, because I need to get this done for an event. It's a owl baby sweater by Kate Davies. And it's I posted the link in the
Yeah, we'll find it. Oh, that's super cute.
it's
That's
adorable.
awesome. That's awesome.
But more owls. I'm on an owl.
You're on an owl kick. Well, that's
Thank you,
amazing.
Vicky.
Thank you for sharing. I don't feel like I'm not like, I still don't feel much clearer about the whole Laura Nelkin thing. project that I did when you just modeled it. Like there's a lot. I always wonder how people's brains work that come. Same with Stephen West. It's like, how does this happen?
Yeah, this is a nice one though, because it was easily doable within the time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Which I thought added a nice element to it, especially with, holiday knitting and stuff like that coming in. I
Yeah.
also bought a project that, oh God, this is gonna show up. The Slow Knitting Club project bag. And this is me. It's kind of hard to see. It's a snail with a ball of yarn as its
So cute.
shell.
Yeah.
And it says Slow
Cute.
Knitting Club, lifetime member. It will get done or not. And that's like, I take that as encouragement to not worry so much about my knitting speed.
Well, excellent.
Club now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Jen, what are you working on?
I am furiously working on my tree skirt.
Good job.
I just kept on going. Oh, question: can we use all of the shiny happy cotton for this, or are we going to use it for something else as well? The red.
It's just for this, but you will be doing a bind off with it, so you need to have enough left.
Okay, I'll have to use that. I have a bigger tree than a 24-inch tree. My husband, we call it the sparkle tree, and it sits over here and it's hideous. And so I'm like, it needs a pretty tree skirt. So I'm making it larger than probably
yeah. So you will need. We're going to be doing a beaded picot bind off. So you don't need a ton,
Awesome.
but you do need.
Okay. I have plenty. I'm not
if
even
you would
close
just
to being
save,
done.
you won't need this much, but if you would just save like 20 grams just to have it, 10 is probably fine, but I'd feel better about 20.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm glad I asked. I did do this year's Geo Gradient shawl from Stephen West. I got it done in 5 weeks instead of 4 weeks. I don't have it here with me. I kept going with the original pattern. I'd gotten so far with the original before it changed that I could not rip it out. So I may embellish or something over it, over that middle piece that's controversial. But I didn't bring it today because I didn't want to trigger anybody. But yeah, it was actually a fun shawl. At the end though, you're at 1,000 stitches.
Oh,
1,000 stitches. I was ready to throw it out the window. I really was.
The last row was 1,000.
I'm done with the shawl. I had 1,000 stitches on my needles.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yes.
How many stitch markers did you put on to keep track?
I did. I had started at every 20 and then I went to like every 50. And so there was a stitch marker every 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was done. And you could have gone on and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm so done. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And there was some fun, of course, fun learnings, as there always is, but whoo, boy. And
That's a hard pass. 1,000 stitches is a hard pass from.
That is
Right?
not potato chip knitting. That is
not potato chip
half a
knitting.
row a day.
I had a goal to get it done by the time, my husband turned 50 and we were going to Vegas. I wanted to get it done for Vegas. And then I realized, wait a second, I didn't change anything. And I did get it done, but I didn't bring it. But anyway, and I'm also making a pair of socks with a fun yarn I had in my stash called Static from Hawthorne. Now, and then I did heels, toes, and cuffs. Okay, question for y'all. Beautiful. I make my socks in a tube, so I go all the way down. You put in lifelines and you cut it open to make the heel, the toe,
Afterthought heel.
afterthought toe, plus an afterthought cuff.
Oh,
All right, yeah, the bind off, right?
Why that one? Why? Because you're already working in a.
You're going all the way down and you just keep going and going until you make the toe.
Right, but why is the cuff done separately?
Because you don't, which is silly, you're right. I should just do some ribbing and start a new,
That's,
yeah.
I mean, it
Now-
might
well,
be
now-
silly, I
now
don't
you
know.
Tell me, I'm reading a book. That's what it told me to do, and I'm a rule follower. But you're right. I just should start doing a cuff after I put in a lifeline.
I wonder what the thought is behind that.
I wonder if it's so you can do it with a contrasting color and just make it be.
Why can't you start with a contrasting color?
That's what I was
You
gonna say. I
certainly
mean,
could, yeah.
I've knitted over 150 pair of socks. I don't do afterthought anythings just because I find them to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I don't mind them, and I will never finish 2 pairs of socks. I get so bored. I want to do something else. So if I'm knitted in one long tube, then go and do the afterthoughts. I can put it away for a minute and then go do the afterthoughts. But here's my problem.
Yeah.
So that I did an afterthought cuff on my other one. I'm going to show you. And my bind off, I did a stretchy bind off because it's a sock, right?
Yeah.
But the bind off I used was like Jenny's, and it flares. And so I ripped it out, and I want to do a bind off that matches this. I was thinking about the Icelandic bind off. I don't know if anybody has an idea. I think I'm going to try the Icelandic bind off, but when I ripped out the other bind off, I went too far, and now I got to pick up stitches and I'm losing them.
I do mine toe up now. So I use Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off for like pretty much all of my cuffs. And if
But
you're
that's what she just said, flared.
Yeah, but if you're having problems with it flaring, go down a needle size.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Jen, I used the Icelandic bind off on the cowl. And it wasn't so much that it needed to be super stretchy, it was just that it needed not to pull in. And I found I could really get good control over the amount of stretchiness by, doing this stitch and then giving a little tug on the working yarn. And it's a really nice looking, it's a
good looking bind off. Okay.
Yeah. So you might try it. It might not be
Okay.
your cup of tea, but I liked it a lot.
I'll also say, Jen, flare
Yeah.
sounds like a drawer problem and not a wearing problem. As long as the socks match.
I've
As
done
long
it
as it's-
several times for socks for myself, and they're fine. And I even though they flare, it fits me great. But this is a gift, and I wanted it to look neater than
Steam it.
what I. Yeah.
Steam it.
Block it.
Yeah, steam
Okay.
it, call it a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
block it out.
There we go.
And then
Thank you.
present it, wrap it, like roll it,
Right.
ribbon around it.
Put a little knot through them. These are together. Don't look at the cups.
And
No,
a
you don't
piece
have
of
to.
chocolate. You're good.
Because honestly, I'm not seeing what you're seeing really.
Well, this is the one that turned out okay because
Okay.
this is where I started, and it's a beautiful little cuff. The other one it's like whew, flared out, and I ripped it out, and now it's a mess. And now I gotta go sit in a corner with a bright light and figure out where my stitches are.
God.
I'll get there.
All been there. We've all
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, for sure. I made a ton of the headbands for gift knitting. I made at least 7 or 8. I love that pattern. Absolutely love that pattern. And I'm on my second barge hat as well because I
good.
love that pattern. That
Oh,
was fun.
good.
Speaking, somebody said something about the barber cords, or they call them barber cords when you buy the fancy stuff, the surgical tubing. I was able to successfully do the provisional cast on using that tubing.
Yeah.
And so when you go back to put it together, you slide it on the needles and it's right there. Not that waste yarn is hard to work with, but the
it's,
tubing is really nice to work with.
and it's really fast
Yeah.
because you're just sliding off like
Yeah.
doesn't
And
always.
you can buy a whole roll from Amazon for like $5.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
cheap.
Send
I
a
have to
link.
check that out. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
We've already gone over, but I want to make sure and see for people that have cameras on, I want to make sure that they get to share. Melissa, would you like to share?
Sure, I am working on the tree skirt, so I'm on
Well
my
done.
road 4, so so I'm all excited for the retreat.
Good, good,
Me
good.
too.
Me too.
And
I'm
I think
looking
I got a tinsel tree also because I got the Advent, the Technicolor one. So I can't wait to make the ornaments. And I think I'm going to make a tree skirt for it. So I went to Wool and the Gang and I got some more like turquoise, orange, yellow. And I'm going to try to maybe alternate the colors or something, like swirls or something, just to kind of make it really pop under the tree too. So
You know, you might, if you're gonna make, there's a ton of yarn in the Advent, like a ton. Like you could make the cowl and still make a few ornaments. So if you're making only ornaments, probably could do a good portion of a tree skirt too.
oh, that would be great.
Or at least, you know, I mean, you might be able to do all of, if it's a smaller one. So just so you know, like there's a lot of yarn. I can't, let's see it. So it's like 15 hanks, and I want to say I don't remember how many yards they are. Maybe like 50 yards. It's a lot of yarn. So that's going to be great. I'm so glad that you got the silver with it. It's going to be.
Oh, I'm so excited. I just
Okay.
can't wait.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh, and you're going to love something that's in the December box. If you get the December box, it's going to tie all that together. Excited. Okay.
Yay, another box.
All right, Melissa. Was that what you wanted to share? Your skirt?
Yeah, that's all. Well, I've got other stuff going on, but it's just like, yeah, this is the main thing right
This
now.
is it. Okay, focus. I guess I better get my stuff done if I'm going to teach this thing. All right, thank you, Melissa. Deborah,
Thank
what
you.
about you? Do you have anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, if I can unmute. So I had started one of my oldest whips. I started doing because it's called a Nadine sweater. My mother's Nadine. My mother's why I started knitting. And so I started working on this and ran out of yarn. And I knew I had it someplace. Couldn't find it. I've been looking for this yarn forever. And all of a sudden it popped up on Amazon. The color's a little bit different, but I finished my sweater. So this is hard to show because, you know, I'm too close to this camera, but I'm pretty excited because I don't crochet too many.
Why are you so close to the camera?
Because I'm sitting on a couch. My laptop is sitting on the arm of the couch. So, trying to get this someplace else would be tough, but what I'm sitting here working on right now should look familiar.
Oh,
So,
looking good.
so I'm close to done. I don't have much yarn left. Down to this. So
looking good.
yeah, that's it.
Oh, love it. Love it. All right. Well, it was lovely as always hanging out. I like as we've gotten to know each other a little bit better. For the folks that show up regularly, we can just chat. That's always fun. We will, for those of you that are watching this later, go to the YarnYAY group on Facebook to see the links. I'm going to post the links in the comment section over there. I don't also do it on YouTube. So just so you know, you have to go to the Facebook group. It's the YarnYAY Facebook group, and you'll see all the links to all of the projects that we talked about and shared today. So that is that. All right. So don't forget to tune in to the unboxing on the 3rd on Facebook. And then I usually get it up on YouTube. If you are a Block Builder member, a new square for knit and crochet are coming out on the 1st. My insiders coffee talk is going to be on the 1st instead of the 2nd because of Dolly. And I think that's everything. If you wanted to get an Advent, quick note on Advent. So I wanted to make sure that our whole 12 days of Yay thing is clear. We shouldn't have called it Advent. It's just everybody knows what an Advent is. I just want to make it clear that it is not attached or affiliated to any religion or specific holiday even. I mean, it's the winter holidays, but we're not going by any traditional religious calendar of when Advent is. It's 12 days of Yay. And last year, we didn't tell you when those 12 days were at all because just pick 12 days, but people messaged that they would like to know. And so we arbitrarily picked days and to make it as inclusive as possible. So our 12 days that we are suggesting, but you know, you do you, are December 10th through 22nd, because it sort of spans the whole Hanukkah, Yule, Christmas situation. So in case people are feeling anxious about not receiving theirs yet or whatever, there's still plenty of time. Technically, if you are going by Christian Christmas, 12 days of Christmas, I think starts on Christmas Day. So regardless, you've got time. These are, so don't panic. And there's also, we do still have at least 25 of them left, maybe 30. So if you know anybody that might be interested, it's not too late. It's not too late to participate. And we packed them all up and got them out, and they are the super cute puffy bags and so much yarn and 8 patterns, I think, a ton of stuff. So super fun. So those have all finally shipped. And I'm excited for everyone to get them. So I think that's it. Thank you for going over time with me a little bit today. It was good hanging out with you, and I will see you on the boards, and I better go and write that haiku clue. So I'll talk to you later.
Thank
All right,
you.
bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Thank you.